Okay, so you join us today. We're actually on a backwater of the River Thames. The plan was to fish the Thames, but the recent storms have meant that we've had to change those plans. The main river is running through really hard and it's chocolate. So we've come to the backwater in the hope that those silvers and the predators have followed them into the backwater, and we'll hopefully get a fish or two. So today we're going to be using our trusty replicants in various colours, something that contrasts against the coloured water. We'll also probably have a go with some bladed jigs with trailers, something that creates a lot of vibration in the water that perhaps attracts a fish within the coloured water, and we'll give it a go. So join us on our adventure. Okay, so I've come into the first little spot which looks interesting. I think we've got about 9 inches of clarity, maybe a little bit more. Starting off with a nice bright replicant and just giving it a few casts around at the moment. Try a few different retrieves, a couple of pauses, let it drop back. The tail on a replicant really works well on the fall, so that's another, if you like, attraction hopefully, and we'll see how it goes. Yep, and I'm in. So about, in actual fact, only 5 or 6, not a big fish, but in these conditions I'm more than happy with that. It's only a small jack, but it's a starter for 10. Okay, so that's come out nice and easy. Smallest, only a small jack, but in these conditions I'm happy with that. So let's put it back in. So that's that was a bright start to the day, the exact opposite of the weather in fact, but like I say, it looks as though coming off the main river and coming onto this backwater could pay off, because as you can think, if you think about it, all the silver is going to come out of the flow, they're going to find some shelter here, and if the silvers are in here, then hopefully there'll be numbers of some predators in here. Just casting around, fishing, casting in behind the boats, any little bit of cover that they may be led there just waiting, and obviously keeping my eyes open to see if I see any busts of fry or such like. Oh! Did you see that? That was a near miss. You probably just saw that on camera. Just touched the back end of the lure, knocked the tail over in actual fact, over the hook, but again, not a big fish, but any fish in this weather is a good fish. Let's see if we can get it back. I don't think it felt the hook, and I certainly didn't feel the fish, I just saw it just turn over. So we've had one fish on a nice bright replicant. One of my favourites in the shallow runner is the pike. I do like that. It's nice to catch a pike on a pike, so we'll give that a couple of shots. We're using the shallow runners because this backwater is not that deep. It's only 4 or 5 foot deep, and despite a couple of heavy frosts, there's still an awful lot of bottom weed out there. So shallow runner works, and you just got to keep it I'm trying to keep it just off the bottom if possible and run it nice and slow. That's it, that's done it. And we're in again. Feels a slightly better fish in actual fact. So it could be a pike on a pike. Oh, that's a lot better fish. That's what we wanted. Pike on a pike. Okay, so after that little bit of success, we've moved swims now and tried a different area. On this backwater, you've actually got a flow through from the main river, which is quite good because it gives you a crease, and fish love to lie just on the edge of a crease where they can catch fish, get fish as they come past. They can just go out into the flow, come back off the flow, and they'll just sit there. They haven't got to do an awful lot unless they want to feed, so hopefully they want to feed. Okay, so I've moved swim again now. It's all about getting different angles on still water, I think, where you've got the slack and the crease out here in front of me. This is pushing through here. So I'm trying to think where the fish would lie up. So it's, I suppose it's about using a bit of watercraft. Okay, so I moved along again. As I said earlier, it's going to be a case of a few casts here and there, find another slack, a few casts there, perhaps change your bait, give a different presentation, and just keep working it. This really does look nice here. It's nice and smooth, although it's going round and flowing. This area out in front of me is very smooth. And that's a nice back area there. We'll have a go across there, see if there's one just sat in by those boats. Oh, well, that woke me up, didn't it? Well, that one that come up under my feet, I don't think he'll come back. I think he probably just felt the hook at the end there, but yeah, all adds to the excitement of the day. And if we give it a rest and come back here later on, then there's a chance we might get him. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't want to do a Kev. So yeah, I've just changed colour now. I've just gone back to the original lure that I started with, a nice bright orange underbelly, bit of reflective in it, good tail action, really bright fluorescent tail on it. First cast and I got a hit. It didn't hook up unfortunately, which probably meant that you might get a couple of cusses on the video, but they'll be taken out, I'm sure. But I suppose it just shows I've run a natural coloured bait through there probably 7 or 8 times without anything at all. Put something on a bright colour, something a little bit different, and straight away I had that hit. Unfortunately, like I said, it didn't hook up, so I don't think he'll come back, mind you. He was it took the rod tip round. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a break in the weather, which gives me the opportunity to run through the rod and reel I've been using today, how I've set it up, and the baits that I've been using. So today I'm using a Lew's Super Duty, great bait casting reel, really good for piking. That's teamed up with a Terminator Versatile Soft. That's rated to 40 grams, but it will load up and cast a lot more than that. What I like about it, as it says on the name, it's got a soft tip, which makes your bait work a little bit better, but it's got a lot of power. So it's still got enough power to set the hooks well and for playing the fish. Rigged up with braid all the way through to a single strand titanium trace. Personal thing that I do, confidence or whatever, whether it makes a difference, who knows, but I do it. The last metre or so I use a permanent marker and mark it off just to dull the braid off. So I do that every time that I set up. So baits I've been using today. UV perch. We've had a fish on the UV perch. We've had a couple of hits on the UV perch. It's in a shallow runner. We're fishing shallow water with a lot of weed. So therefore I can move the bait over the top, still fish it slowly if I want to, fish it with pauses, a couple of sharp turns, lots of versatility in it. And if I do go out into the flow, I can always clip on a little nose weight. So I've got a selection of nose weights that I can just put on, take the bait down a bit deeper if need be. So the lure that tempted the bigger fish today, natural pike. Love this bait. Catch a lot of fish on it, and there's something about catching a pike on a pike perhaps, but shallow runner again. The release clips on this when we hooked that fish worked well. Takes the bait away from the fish, so the weight's not being used against the fish to pull the hooks, so that worked really well. And like I say, we've had a couple of other hits on it. We'll perhaps try it again in a minute. Okay, a couple of other lures that I use on a regular basis, especially on the river, this one, natural chub. Love it, and so do the pike. I think more so with this one, the tail on it, the colour of the tail, that seems to be a big attractant on it. But yeah, I love that one. And another one I've used today, not had any joy on it, but natural perch, when you're fishing in coloured water, backwater, which has driven the silvers in. Obviously the predators are coming after them. And I would say that if I was fishing for perch, there must be a good few of these out there. So why not use one to see if you can tempt a pike? It's been a hard day, but we've had a few hits and we've had 3 fish, and they are all sfatas. So yeah, overall, considering the conditions, you've got to say that was a good one.